Floyd, just overall, you won this race back in 2006, coming back on the circuit here, and your impressions of the overall Amateur Tour California this year, what you've seen, crowds, observations, things like that.
This year certainly, I think, like every year since 2006 when it started, it's been growing. And I was impressed with the dedication of some of the fans the first few days there. It was hard enough to get out and go ride our bikes in that weather. A lot of people came out and cheered for us, so it was good for morale. Things have gotten better since, and it's been a very difficult race. I mean, compared to any races you would do in Europe of this length, I can't think of any that would be harder. Hopefully they'll keep the momentum going, and if today was any indication, I think people are happy to have the race come through Pasadena.
You're not exactly feeling up to par health-wise. Can you give us some details on that?
Well, look, it's I haven't raced in 2.5 years, and it was a difficult race to start. We're doing the best we can. I'm a little bit disappointed with how things have gone so far, but yeah, got through it with one little incident where I fell, but no problems there. I landed on my hip, and I'm happy. Didn't have any problems with that, and yeah, the rest of it. I mean, you ride around in the rain and the snow. Sometimes you don't feel well afterwards.
Do you have a cold though, or body ache, stuff like that?
Yeah, feel about the same as everybody else, I think.
Floyd, can I ask what you hope to get out of your comeback and where you see it going in the long term?
Sorry, the first part, what I hope to...
First part, what do you hope to get out of the comeback?
Well, I've missed bicycle racing. Spent a large part of my life doing it, and for the last few years, been gone, and it feels good to be back. And I don't know exactly what the long-term goals are at this point. Like in any stage race, it gets to a point where your goals become very short-sighted. Like, for example, now I'm going to go try to find a place to lay down. Hopefully after the race is over, I can reassess what I want out of this.
Can you tell us a bit about what your tentative calendar is for the rest of the year? Just because of the economy, some of the races in the States here have dried up. Is the domestic schedule going to be enough for you? Do you plan to go to Europe? Do you want to go to Europe? Is there anywhere in Europe that you're afraid you might not be allowed to race?
Our team at this moment, I'm not entirely sure how the team classification system works. We're a continental team, so I don't know what options we would have as far as racing in Europe and things like that. We don't have any plans at the moment. In a few weeks I'm going to go race in Mexico, but for the most part, the races we do will be here. I certainly don't have any aversion to going racing in Europe, but we don't have any plans to do so right now. And as far as whether I'll be welcome back, it's hard to say, but I haven't spent any time looking into it at the moment.
I actually didn't mean welcome. I just meant like legally allowed. That's kind of what I did.
Yeah, I'll say, I guess, the same answer. I'm not really sure. Still not. After 2 years of trying to figure out exactly how all this works, not clear on a lot of things.
Can you talk about what, you know Palomar Mountain better than anybody, what can the Peloton, everybody expect tomorrow? What do you expect from the race tomorrow?
Well, I've never raced up it before. My experience there is usually involves having a burrito at the bottom. I'm not going to be able to do that. So once I'm done with my burrito, usually I climb for about an hour. I imagine it'll go a little bit faster, and I usually go on my own. We have a few climbs before we get to Palomar. We go past Lake Wolford, and there's a climb that goes up there, but it's not a real long climb. But after a week-long stage race, there's a lot of guys in the Peloton that are tired, and so things split up a lot easier. So it may be a difficult race even before we get to the bottom of Palomar. Once we get there, the climb on Palomar is pretty constant. The first half is probably 5 or 6% grade, and the second half is maybe 8% at the most. And so, yeah, it's as hard a climb as you can find anywhere. And certainly coming at this time of the race will make it an interesting race. Up until this point, Stone has been determined to control the race themselves, and they've done a good job. Tomorrow's a very difficult race. There's some guys that are very close in GC. I don't know if they'll be willing to take some chances and risk their place to try to take the win, but I would.
You've been out of racing for about 2.5 years. How does it feel to come back and have the crowd still treat you like a rock star? They've been excited to see you and have come out in groves to talk to you, touch you, get your autograph?
It feels good. I missed a lot about racing. I never really did it because I wanted a lot of attention. I like bicycle racing for the challenge that it is, and for the experiences that I've gotten out of it and the places I've got to see. But it certainly is certainly touching to come out and have so many people out there cheering for us all. Not just me, everybody, I think, appreciates it. And so, yeah, to see that in the United States and this close to home is very satisfying.
So going into tomorrow, can we expect to see another stage 17 type Floyd Landis tear? Early in the stage?
Well, tomorrow's a good stage for that sort of thing. Hopefully you get to see one, whether it's me doing it or not. Somebody should try it. And there's some guys who are very close in the general classification who, if I were in their shoes, I would try to get some time back. I think Levi's team's strong, but they're going to have a hard time controlling the entire race on a stage that hilly. And even after Mount Palomar, there's some very difficult sections. So whether or not I'll be there, it's hard to say. I know the streets very well, so see what happens.
Actually, just to follow up on that, Floyd, it's me again. Cold grade, I've heard kind of described as the little trap in this stage that people might not be as familiar with as Palomar. It's steep, short. Could that be another sort of backbreaker that people haven't really discussed?
Yeah, cold grade. When I had originally thought about how the race was going to play out, I didn't think it would be that much of a factor in the race. But the way the race played out the first few days, where there wasn't really anybody that got to ride an easy race and save energy for later. I mean, everybody in those first rainy days where the peloton split up spent the same amount of energy as everyone else. And so when everybody's that tired and some guys are less motivated than others because they don't have so much to gain, and you come to a climb like that, it can do a lot of damage to the peloton. I don't know how many guys will be together at that point when they even start that climb, but if somebody wants to get some time back there, some damage can be done. It's probably at full speed a 10 or 12-minute climb, and thereafter is a ways to the finish, but it's not flat. It's rolling and some downhill. So if there's a decisive place in the race where somebody wants to get time and doesn't want to try a stage 17 where they go out and ride all day, that would be it. But again, we'll have to wait to see what plays out and how the peloton looks when they start that climb. But if it goes the traditional way, a stage like that, then that's the climb to try something on if you're a GC guy.
You said you didn't want to talk, you only want to talk about the present and the future, and I think we understand that. I'm just curious, have you found that a lot of people want to talk about the past? Is there anything left to talk about? I mean, are you still getting hounded to talk about the past?
I don't know if I want to answer questions about the past.